So I'm going out today. I'm just like taking myself on a date, which is something I haven't done in forever, but I'm really quite excited about it. So it's been a little while since I made a video, and there have been a few reasons for that. The biggest reason was that I've not been in the best headspace for the last couple of weeks. Been feeling a little bit down and sad, mopey, and just in my feelings in general. I get like that every now and then. It's not an unfamiliar state of being for me, but I'm now ready to get out of that and feel like myself again, and that's one of the reasons that I planned this little date. The end of the year has me reflecting on the entirety of 2023 and the ways in which my life has changed this year. So just a few days ago, I actually completed 7 months of moving from Mumbai to Goa. And a question I get asked here in Goa quite regularly is, how am I liking Goa? How am I finding the change? And what's my experience like? So I've been reflecting on that answer also, because there's not one simple answer. This move was something that I chose. I wished for it, I planned for it, and it was a long time coming. So when I first got here, like my first couple of months, if I could bottle how I felt at that time and sell it, I would probably be a billionaire. I felt so inspired, just euphoric all of the time. I think I did some of my best work. I had endless energy and motivation. I felt so fortunate. It felt like dreams that I didn't even know I had were coming true. But that is not a sustainable feeling. Like, the change and the novelty did good things for me, but I didn't think that I would feel like that forever. And sure enough, as a little more time passed, I kind of started feeling more like my normal self. And that felt a little disappointing. I had to question myself, like, why I was disappointed, because the thing is, I didn't hate my old self, I liked myself. But it also sort of felt like all of my negative habits and tendencies crept back. I started procrastinating, overthinking. Even though I wasn't born or raised in Goa, I have always felt inherently Goan, and I think fellow Goans will also understand that feeling. It is that strong sense of identity and connection with Goa. So when I came to visit Goa, it's not that I was treating this as a party destination or anything, but I still knew it wasn't my life. My life was in Mumbai, and visiting Goa was a break from that life. When I moved here, obviously my relationship changed because it just became my everyday life. But the worst part of it was that I ended up forgetting what was so special about living here. The things I really loved, the reasons that I wanted to move, I wasn't as in touch with them as I was in the first couple of months. I've always been a homebody, and even here in Goa, once I settled in, I stopped stepping out of the house as much. I don't mind that I'm home a lot, but I'm also always happier when I spend a little time outdoors and in nature. And my relationship with Goa, like, we could compare it to a romantic relationship, where at the start, you're just very happy, you're in this positive state of mind, honeymoon period, everything feels easy and joyous. But as the little time passes and the novelty wears off a little bit, things aren't so easy and happy and light anymore. It just means that at this point you need to start making an effort. That is something that I have forgotten, and I need to remind myself. Like, the last couple of months, I actually got more work, and I'm extremely grateful for the ability to work. Like, being a freelancer, there is that lack of consistency in your life. So when work comes along, you take it. But I ended up spending like a good period of time just doing work regularly and not really making space for any other things in my life, just leisure or hobbies, whatever. And I know that for me, like, that's a recipe for disaster. I can do it for a very short period, but after that, I know that, like, I will burn out quite quickly. When I just started out my career in freelance work and content creation, I really craved consistency. But I realized that's something that's very difficult for me to achieve, and I think it's part of how I'm wired also. I just can't do it. There are always going to be ebbs and flows. I've accepted that because I don't think it's practical for us to be happy all of the time. We experience the full spectrum of emotions, and that is definitely part of what makes us human. So these are some thoughts that I've had just kind of jumping around in my brain these last few days, and it feels weird and pretentious and cringe to even talk about it, but why not talk about it? I did my little cafe date. I came to one of my favorite places and got a latte and a croissant, and I just sat and journaled. This is my new journal by the Pico Shop. One thing that I really love about this particular journal is that it's undated. So in case you are a little bit inconsistent with filling it in, you set the date. You don't have to feel guilty that you missed 15 days of planning or whatever. You can set your own pace. The first couple of pages had this letter to yourself section, and I got really into it. I don't even remember the last time I put a pen to paper and actually wrote, because we're always typing stuff or tapping onto our phones. So it felt strange but also nice and comforting. Another life lesson that I am trying to embody is to take time for myself, just like this, without feeling guilty that okay, there are 10 things lying at home that I have yet to do. It's not selfish. If I drive myself to work to the point that I feel absolutely miserable, it doesn't help me or anyone else around me. I need to find that balance in my life, and that is something that I am definitely going to try to work harder on in the year 2024. If you're stuck in a spiral of negative thoughts that just feels really heavy, I would very much recommend spending a morning on yourself. Just put on some really cute clothes, do your makeup if that's what you're into, carry your earphones and maybe a book, and go to any place that makes you happy. A cafe, a restaurant, a beach, just like somewhere outdoors. I'm sure we all have those places that we hold dear to us. I found that this really helps me snap out of my head when I'm overthinking too much. It just helps me see that I am such a tiny person in a very, very big world, and I get more mindful of my surroundings and all of the beauty around me. I got to admire a lot of really pretty Christmas decorations, even though we couldn't decorate this year. I mean, there's always next year, I also met some doggies. Like, I've seen these guys around, but I never knew if they were friendly. So this is my first time interacting with them, and I was just really excited. Like, one guy was a little bit frightened, and this fellow here, he wanted all of the attention. Like, he would not let me pet any of the other doggies. For me, this was a wonderful way to spend one of the last days of 2023. And since you guys are going to be seeing this in the new year, happy 2024. If you made it till the end, thank you for spending almost 10 minutes of your day with me. And I will see you guys next time.